From time to time, the sons and daughters have chosen to invite a child survivor of Pearl Harbor when that person was on the island of Oahu. Today, Fred Ayers is here as a child survivor, and from what he can remember as a young child and what relatives have told him, he'll develop his story of what he can remember that morning and a few days afterwards. So let us give a warm welcome to Fred Ayers, who's a member of the Sons and Daughters of Pearl Harbor Survivors, and of course a son of Pearl Harbor survivor Frederick Ayers. Ladies and gentlemen, Fred Ayers.
I don't know what I can say that's going to, after this fury presentation here. It was very poor timing for us. We spent Thanksgiving in San Francisco, and we were at Pearl Harbor December the 7th. In fact, when we got there, we did not even have a place to stay. We were staying with friends of ours in Navy housing, about 100 yards from the main gate. Of the morning, the thing that I do remember is my mother, my father, and I, the three of us, sticking our heads out the window and seeing a Japanese plane fly by. So my father had, the problem with my father is they had gone to a ship's party the day before, so he wasn't real 100%. So I remember him looking out the window, and he's running down the street in uniform, but tying his neckerchief as he's going. And we did not see or hear from him for 2 days. We didn't know if he was alive or whatever. However, I was only 4 years old, and I was just a child. My mother and the other wives that were there tried to maintain the status quo so that the children wouldn't be too freaked out. One weird thing that happened that I remember distinctly, sometime in the afternoon, MPs knocked on the back door and asked the women to remove their clothes from the clothesline. I never could figure out what that was about. Really, for me, it was not traumatic at all, but I'm sure that my mother and the other women were really freaked out, and but maintained their cool to keep it really cool for my sister and I and the other children. What happened afterwards, my mother and father got a cottage on Waikiki on a road called Cal Road, which is where the Hilton is today. We were there until March. In March, the government kicked off the island everybody who was not a permanent resident. And they stuffed us on everything that had a bottom. My mother, my sister, and I came back to San Francisco on a French freighter. Wayne told me not to talk about anything past that, but I do want to bring up one thing. In 1944, I had to be reintroduced to my father because I hadn't seen him since we left Pearl Harbor in March of '41. And I think it had a lasting effect on me and my sister also. So really, that's all I have to say. Thank you.